Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class. Our textbook is Weekend 2, and today, inshallah, we will cover Unit 2, My Things, Phonics Practice number 1 on page 28. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazir Al-Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we got introduced to two important sounds that starts with SP and SW. And we said that it is important that we can differentiate between these two sounds, and how we can differentiate between them is by practicing more of these words that starts with SW and SP. So we said in order to do this, we need to answer this exercise. And in this exercise, we have 4 important things to do. The first one is we're going to listen first to these words, and after we listen, we're going to say them after the teacher. And after we say them, we're going to decide whether these words belong to the first sound, and we number them as number 1, or if they belong to the second sound, and we number them as number 2. And after we finish all of these, we write down the missing letters to complete these words. So let's first listen to these words, or these two main sounds, and after this we're going to see a whole list of new words that may have these similar sound. So the first sound here we have that starts with S and P is spider. Spider. And the second sound that starts with S and W is sweater. Sweater. Spider, sweater. So these are the two sounds that we may have or that we're going to study and did study before in this lesson. So now, here we have other 4 words that may have these sounds. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to listen to each of these words, and after we listen, we're going to say them again with the teacher, and after this, we're going to number them if they belong to the first sound or if they belong to the second sound. And after this, we're going to write down the missing letters right down here in these blanks. So let's start by listening to the first picture or the first word. So the first word we have is spring. Spring. Say after me, spring. So the word is spring. What do you think this word belong to? Does it belong to the first sound that starts with S and P? Or is it belong to the second sound that starts with S and W? It is, of course, belong to the first sound that starts with S and P. So here we go, and we write number 1 in the square. And of course, since it belonged to the first sound, then we should fill in the missing letters with S and P as we have here. So the word is spring. Now, let's listen for the second word. The second word is sport. Sport. Say after me, sport. Very good. The second word is sport. And what do you think? Does sport or the word sport belong to the first sound or to the second sound? It is, of course, belong to the first sound. So here we write down number 1 and we complete it with S and P, sport. Now, the third word is already answered in our book, and what we need to do here, after we know the sound that this word belongs to, then it obviously that the missing letters for this word are S and W, because here we have the word swing. Swing. Say after me, swing. Now, this will leave us with the last word we have on this list. Let's listen to the last word and then we will decide whether it belongs to the first or the second sound. The last word is swan. Swan. Say after me, swan. Very good. So, what do you think? Swan, does it start with SP or SW? It is, of course, start with S and W, so it belongs to the second sound and the words are S, or the letters are S and W. So here we go. Here we have, now we can say that we have 3 words with the first sound and also other 3 words with the second sound. Let's listen to them one more time. So the words we have with the first sounds are, with the SP sound, are spider, spring, sport. And the other 3 words that we have with the SW sounds are sweater, swing, swan. Very good. So here we go. Here we have these 6 words with 2 different sounds. And also the other exercise we have, which is this exercise, how to read and color all the vowels, which are A, E, I, O, and U. So this is a story that is called A Funny Day. And what we did last time is that we read this story, and after we read this story, we go to color each of these vowels. So here we have, for example, vowels like A, like the letter E, the letter O, and the letter I, and also the letter U. And we said that we need to go through the whole story and color all these vowels. And after this, we had also an interesting game where we said that here you have different circles. Inside of them are different numbers starting from number 40 up to number 100. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through these numbers and try to count them starting from 40. And when you count them, you need to make sure there are no missing numbers. And if there is any missing numbers, then you go write down the missing numbers next to these circles. And to make it more interesting, you can find a friend or play it with a friend, and also can count from number 40 to 100. So now let's get to know our objectives in today's lesson. At the end of this lesson, we hope that you will be able to differentiate between SM, SN, and ST and SL in different sentences. And to do this, I would like you please to open your books on page 28. I'd like you please to open your books on page 28. Now on page 28, we're going to practice words with SM, SN, and ST, and SL. So how are we going to do this? First, we're going to read these first, or the 4 sets of letters, and after this, we're going to read and listen to the words, and I would like you to say them after me. So the first word we have that starts with S and M is the word smile. Smile. Say after me, smile. And the second word that starts with S and L is snail. Snail. Say after me, snail. And the third word that starts with S and T is stop. Stop. And the fourth word that starts with S and L is slot. Slot. Very good. So here we have these four different words that starts with four different sounds. Smile, snail, stop, and slot. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to this interesting exercise where what we're going to do is we're going to listen to 6 different words that either starts with SM or SN or ST or SL. And after we know what is what each of these words starts with, then we're going to write the missing letter here, and then we're going to write down the word here, and after this we're going to look for the picture that represents this word, and we write down the number of the word next to each picture. So let's start now and try number 1. Now let's listen to the first word, which is with number 1. The word with number 1 is snorkel. Snorkel. So the word is snorkel. So what do you think? What does snorkel starts with? Does it starts with SM or SN, ST or SL? It is, of course, starts with S and N, snorkel. So here we go. Here we first circle S and N, and we try to write down these missing letters here, snorkel. And after this, on your books, you should write down the word the same. You can copy it here in this blank, snorkel. And after we do this, then what we should do? We should look for this picture. That means or represent the word snorkel. And if we look around here, we can say that this picture represents the word snorkel, number 1. Now let's listen to number 2. The word of number 2 is slot. Slot. So what do you think? What does it starts with? Does it starts with SM, SN, ST, or S and L? It is, of course, starts with S and L. So here we go. Here we put a circle like this, and we write S and L here. And after this, you should copy the same word here next to it. And after this, what will we have? We should look for the picture that represents this word, the slot. So here, if we're trying to look around here, we can say that it is this picture represents number 2. Now let's listen to number 3. Number 3 is first. First. So the word is first. And what do you think the word first ends with? Does it end with SM, SN, ST, or SL? It is, of course, ends with S and T. So here we put a circle and we write S and T. So after we write it, we should go and copy the same word here. And after this, we look for the word. What do you think first mean? First, it means the first place, which is this picture. So here we go and write down number 3. Now, number 4. Let's listen for the word number 4. Sleep. Sleep. So, what do you think? Sleep starts with S and L. So here we go. Here we write the 2 letters, sleep. And later you should copy this word here. And after this, you look for the word from this list, which is the first one. So here we go, write down number 4, sleep. Now number 5. Let's listen to number 5. Smile. Smile. So what do you think? Smile starts with S and M. So here we go, write S and M. And after this, you should write the word here in this blank. And we go to the picture that represents the word smile. And we write here number 5. This will leave us with the last word, which is sticker, sticker. Sticker starts with S and T, and also we should go here and write S and T, and after this you should write it down here in this blank, and finally we write down the number of this word, which is number 6. So here you go. This is how we can practice these 4 sets of letters, and also how we answer this question. This will leave us to the last exercise we have for today. In this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to listen, point, and say these or this chant. So let's listen. Swim and snorkel, watch the fish. Starfish, shellfish, any fish you wish. Let's listen to it one more time, and this time I would like you to follow with me while I'm pointing. Swim and snorkel, watch the fish. Starfish, shellfish, any fish you wish. An eel, a shellfish, I stop and touch and try to catch a small red crab. Now let's listen to it one more time. I would like you to follow while I'm pointing. An eel, a shellfish, I stop and touch and try to catch a small red crab. So, at the end of our lesson today, it is important that you can differentiate between words that starts with SM, SN, and ST, and SL. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.